Hey everyone, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics with a quick video for you. I want to talk about my experience at this year's Batman Day, as well as show off some comic books I got on this day that are pretty cool. Yes, there are some Batman books in here, but mostly I want to talk about a pretty big Bronze Age comic I was able to add to my collection at a great price, and I'm really excited to show it off. Now, for those of you that don't know what Batman Day is, DC has designated the third Saturday of every September as Batman Day, and there are lots of events going on at local comic book stores. You know, there are sales on Batman comics and trade paperbacks, people dress up as Batman, things like that. In my local comic book store was no exception. I went to His and Her Comics in Greenfield, Massachusetts, my favorite comic book store in the whole world. I talk about it all the time. It's a relatively small store, but the amount of amazing comic books jammed into this space is very impressive. I have an awesome relationship with the owner, Nishan. He donates books for me to do giveaways all the time. Also, I love all the locals there. Whenever I go there, I feel like it's like a barbershop, right? You're hanging out for the afternoon. You're talking with other like-minded folks, you know, about comic books. It's a great, very welcoming atmosphere, and I love going there. But I wasn't actually there for Batman Day. I was there because the owner invited me and my friend Jeff from Comic Spa to do sort of a meet and greet. The idea would be that we set up a table and people can learn about the channel, and people, more importantly, could ask Jeff questions about cleaning and pressing comic books and even bring comic books to get his opinion. I would love to tell you guys that people were there to see me. They were not. They were there to see Jeff and get his very sage opinion on what to do with comic books. And people brought in comics for him to look at, including some big ones. I saw an X-Men 1, actually. So it was really great. I did meet some pretty cool people, including some local comic book artists. I'd like to mention one of them here. This is an artist named Ben Tawes. He's a self-published comic book creator, and he created this series called Freedom Edge. And come to find out, me and Ben have a very close mutual friend, and that's actually who I got these comic books from. So it was great meeting Ben. If you guys are interested in his comic book series, I'll put a link to his website down in the description. But for the most part, although I did talk to a few people because Jeff was occupying everyone's attention, I had time to shop. Couldn't help myself, guys. I was in a comic book store. I kept adding to like the pile of stuff I wanted and put it behind, the counter. And I actually ended up with 2 different stacks of comic books. Basically what happened was I had some comic books I picked out in the morning, and then after our meet and greet, myself and a whole bunch of other people, including Jeff and some other local comic artists, we went out for lunch down the street. We had a great time. And then we decided to go back to the store afterwards, hang out, and of course buy some more comic books. This is where I bought the larger book. So first I'm going to show you the books that I got in the morning, along with a couple other Batman Day special exclusives. And then I'm going to show you the bigger books that I got in the afternoon. Before I do, you guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram under Lunch Money Comics IG. Let me show you guys what I got at Batman Day. So first I want to show a couple of the freebies I got because of Batman Day. I'm sure if any of you went to your local comic book store on this day, you saw the same ones, but they're worth mentioning again. We have Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo, and also Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War Prelude. I don't read modern comic books very much, guys, and I definitely don't read enough DC, so I'm interested in checking these out. I did flip through them real quick. The art looks fantastic, so excited to check these out. Also, Nishan had a whole bunch of masks to give to any kids who came in the store, but not many kids came in, at least not while I was there. So he gave me a whole bunch of masks to give to my kids. So we have a couple of Joker masks. We have the animated series one here, the Mark Hamill voiced one. Also, this appears to be the Cesar Romero one from, the Adam West Batman. And then a couple of Catwomans. We have this one right here, a modern one, and also this Bronze Age Catwoman. So I gave these to my kids. They were having a great time running around, chasing each other. So thank you so much, Nishan. My kids got a lot of enjoyment out of these. All right, next up, we have a whole bunch of cheaper comic books. As a matter of fact, most of these were like dollar books, and I think they were all a toss-in anyways. And the reason I got these books is because I've always mentioned on my channel how I love the Marvel trading cards of the early 90s, and I always try to collect cheap first appearances of some of the characters in those sets. And as a matter of fact, I recently did a really fun video with my friends over at the Absolute Game of Nerds, where we went through the Series 2 card set, and every time we went through a card, we'd have a competition to see who had the first appearance, and we throw the comic book up there and you get a point. We had so much fun doing it and it had such a great response. We're going to do it again for Series 3 with some more guests on. And there's a lot of really minor obscure characters in that set. So I'm always looking for these dollar books to kind of get some more points for that whenever we have it. So that's what these next 4 books are. So bear with me. We have Marvel 2-in-1 number 71. It's from 1980. This is a team up between The Thing and Mr. Fantastic, so half of the Fantastic Four. And this is the first appearance of the villain Maelstrom. A lot of people haven't heard of Maelstrom. That's okay. He's got a card, and other than the card, that's all I really know about him. So I'm actually interested in reading this. Next up, we have some Guardians of the Galaxy books from the early 90s. Not a title I was really into. This is number 18 from 1991. And this is the first cameo appearance of the character Talon, a new Guardians of the Galaxy member who was basically like a cat-type alien who can shoot talons out of his fingertips. Really dumb superhero, guys. But this is his first appearance. And also number 20, you can actually see Talon right here in the bottom. We also have the first appearance of Vance Astro as Major Victory. Although Vance Astro is a character that came out many decades earlier, this is the first time he takes on the Major Victory moniker. Had to pick it up. Again, $1 book, guys. And this last one's really fun. It brings me right back to the early 90s. We have Wolverine number 50 from 1991. I remember this cover as a kid. It has a die-cut cover here where the claws are cut out of the front cover. Cool, yellow. It just looks great. This is the first appearance of a minor villain named Shiva, who is basically a robot covered in adamantium that is designed to protect the Weapon X program. Basically, just a robot, killing machine to go up against Wolverine. So yeah, nothing really expensive here. These are all minor books. They were all $1 or $2, and Nishon threw them all in with the next 2 books I'm about to show you. Definitely look for that video from Absolute Game of Nerds in the future, guys, if you're interested. It should be a real fun one, and I have at least 4 more points here to try to beat those other guys. So pretty cool. But the main 2 books I got in the morning, I was pretty excited by. And this first one does include another first appearance. This is Warlock number 11 from 1975, art and story by Jim Starlin, who sort of reinvented the character of Adam Warlock in the 70s. I like these books anyways. I like picking them up when I can because I like Jim Starlin. Fantastic cover right here. But this is also the first appearance of a cosmic being, the In-Betweener. Not a major character at all, but I was happy to get another first appearance in there. And again, it's a cool series by Jim Starlin. Happy to get it. But the main book I got in the morning has nothing to do with first appearances, guys. This is because I'm finishing my run of Chris Claremont's X-Men, and I needed this one. This is The Uncanny X-Men number 116 from 1978, of course, written by Chris Claremont, art by John Byrne, who also did the cover with Terry Austin. Beautiful comic book. It's a dark cover. It doesn't show many color breaks at all. I believe this one has Garrick in their X-Men are in the Savage Land. So no key or anything like that, guys. Just a book I needed for my run. Happy to pick up this high-grade X-Men book. So mostly I was buying these 2 right here, and Nishon threw in the rest, and I got all of these for $50. So pretty great deal right there. Definitely happy to chip away at this X-Men run. I'm only like a dozen away, guys. I'm getting really, really close. So while I was looking at these cheaper books in the morning, of course, I was looking at some of the more expensive books up on the walls. Like I said, guys, His and Her Comics has a fantastic wall book selection, the kinds of books you just stare at and drool over. And there were several up there I want really badly. But there was one book in particular I've been eyeing all year. In fact, he had 2 copies of this Bronze Age book. And one was mid-grade, one was high-grade. And I think every time I've been in the store this year, I've asked to look at them. So here I am once again. All right, bring them down again. I want to look at them. Except this time, Nishon said, you know what, Mike? For you, today only, you can have either one of those at half price. So they were pretty pricey books to begin with, but all of a sudden, half price, these are very attainable. Not only that, Jeff from Comic Spot was next to me. He's looking at these books going, they're pretty good condition. So I didn't pull the trigger at the time. I just bought these smaller books. I said, let me think about it. I went to lunch with those guys, and we're eating food, having a couple drinks, talking about comic books, and we all decided we were going to go back to the store. And in the hour and a half or so we were eating lunch, I decided, yeah, that price was way too good to pass up. I'm going to get it. So I also got some Batman books to go with it. I'll show you in a second, but I'm just going to show you the big book right now because it is this. This is Tomb of Dracula number 1 from 1972. Awesome Neil Adams cover. And of course, this is the first appearance of the character Dracula in Marvel Comics. Of course, based off the Bram Stoker Dracula, which had fallen into public domain by this point. So I love the horror comics from the 70s, whether it's DC or Marvel. I think they're really, really cool. They're very indicative, I feel like, of that time. Horror books were huge. And I've gotten more and more into them. As I've gotten into more of the darker DC characters, I've gotten more into the Marvel ones as well. So I've wanted this book for a while. This was the mid-grade copy I picked up. And it had a price tag on it of $300 originally, so I got it for $150, which I think is a very good price for the condition this is in, because I think this is like a 6.0, even before a clean and a press, and I think it'll probably be like a 6.5 after Comic Spot is done with it. Now, this series is pretty critically acclaimed, and it was definitely the most successful villain-led story comic book series in all of Marvel Comics, and of course, launched a whole bunch of other characters that were introduced in these pages, like Blade, most notably. So, very happy to add this Bronze Age horror book to my collection at a great price. And yeah, I recently just did my top 10 Bronze Age books, but I didn't have this book. This probably, almost certainly, would have made that list as well. So I'm happy to pick this up. $150, though, got me more than just this. I was also looking at some Silver Age Batman books. Now, because it was Batman Day, His and Her Comics was having a sale of 25% off anything with Batman in it. It could have been a Batman book, could have been a trade paperback, it could have been like a World's Finest where Batman was on the cover, 25% off. I was looking at a couple of lower grade Silver Age books, and Nishan just threw them in. He said, you just take them with the Tomb of Dracula. Amazing. So let me show you what they are. First, we have Batman number 197. It's from 1967, written by Gardner Fox, art by Carmine Infantino. And I got this one because we have Catwoman in her green suit. So for a while during the 60s, Catwoman had a green suit with scales on it, kind of inexplicably, but it has a cool look, especially with kind of like the retro glasses type mask she has. Really low grade, you know, it had some tape up here, you know, definitely a lot of color breaks, some writing on it, but who cares, guys? It was essentially free, and it's a great book to, you know, put on the wall behind me with my DC stuff. I also got the very next issue, which is Batman number 196. And same thing, Gardner Fox, Carmine Infantino. Just thought it was a great cover and a pretty great price at free. So I got all three of these books for $150, and if I lump in all of these, which I'm having a hard time picking up, I got all of these for $200 on the day. Yes, I was there for Batman Day. I did get enough Batman books to make it feel like that was why I was there, but of course, I think the grand prize is this Tomb of Dracula number 1. So that's it, guys. Quick video, but head on down to the comments and let me know what you think of all my pickups. Which one is your favorite? Did you go to Batman Day, and did you pick up any cool Batman-related comic books? That's it, guys. Keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places, especially your local comic book store on Batman Day. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.